number one that can block. Number one that can at least. Like I said, I haven't watched him. Even if you do a duo block where you double team, work your way to the backer, he has to be strong enough when once he get off that double team to the backer,
Right.
still hold that block.
And that's the only thing the Bears have on O-line right now. They can't protect Fields, but they're pretty good at stopping or preventing the run, and they're doing that effectively. You got Khalil Herbert, rookie coach, out of the section.
No. I'm not
leading the league, bro.
Listen, I'm not. First off, I'm not knocking it. Like I said, I said it from the beginning. Nagy's 60-40 his fault. I'm not gonna lie. Watching the game, it was times I thought he got real pass happy. Just for the fact, man, because they was driving the field. He got pass happy. There was times he should have ran the ball. That I would admit. I mean, but also to flip it, god dang, you look at the lines. On that last drive to kick the field goal, I think it was third and 4 or third and 4. They called 2 timeouts with a penalty. No, it was third and 9.
I was like,
timeouts back to back. Then you lose 5 yards, and then, like I said, you look at the secondary. The corners and the safeties was 10 yards off.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, just throw it out there to them, and they ran us out route because it was just common sense, obvious. Like you just gave it up. Like everybody keeps saying, the Lions compete, but they find ways to mess it up. And a lot of it is with the Lions. Even with the Lions, it's a new head coach, never first year coach, first year OC, first year DC. So now you pretty much you're trying to figure everything out and just trying to understand because you're gonna make and I think that's the problem. They can't win a game or finish a game because they're still learning how to do these things, even the coaching staff. But you bash Nagy. Everybody wants Nagy fired. Mm-hmm. He got the win. That's one month in the chest. Yeah, because everybody wanted him fired. Man, they went to his. Oh, you can't. You go to your son's basketball game and you chant fire Nagy.
I didn't support that. I didn't support that.
And I think that's the crazy
thing. That was tough. That was disrespectful.
Yep. But moving on, man. Moving on. Let's go on over to the next game that happened. Cowboys and the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
What was your take on that?
What I tell you, Coach?
The game first.
I said it in the chat. I said I got Raiders. And Freddie told me, ain't no way no Raiders win the game. And I'm telling you, once I saw Amari was out, once I saw CD was out, I was like, nah, this ain't it today. I think the biggest thing that's been getting figured out is really just neutralizing Zeke and neutralizing Pollard, because you understand that, if you have safeties over the top, like you said earlier, and you just kind of get on your man, and that man is Michael Gallup. That's it on an island. You don't really have a tight end. You don't really have guys helping you block and giving Dak a little bit more time to make room. I'm looking at it like that. And I'm saying if all you have to really prepare for from the offensive end is Gallup and a couple running backs, I mean, you can win that game easily. So I looked at the Raiders and I said they definitely need to win more than the Cowboys do, just because they need that moral victory. They need something to be happy about. I'm a big Derek Carr guy. I think Derek Carr definitely balled out. Trevon Diggs, we talked about it early on, Coach. It's a situation where, man, when he's hot, and he started off the season and everyone's talking about the future of the NFL and in corners, and he's the next Jalen Ramsey. And now after a few weeks have gone by, a couple months, you're starting to realize it's not consistent. And he was a liability in this game. Micah Parsons, I like Micah Parsons, but he's still very young. They're still missing a couple guys like Lawrence and others, but I think it was a good game. I just think at the end of the day that the Raiders came to play and the Cowboys didn't. And I think it all starts with Mike McCarthy.
So you think it's McCarthy's fault? Why?
I think there was a lot of intangibles that went into it, but I know Mike McCarthy and I've seen Mike McCarthy play coach for a very long time. And the thing with Mike McCarthy is there is no aggressiveness. There is no we need the lead early on type mentality. Mike McCarthy's perfectly fine with having 0 points at half, and he's perfectly comfortable with, being behind late in games because he thinks, oh, it's all going to work out. I'm a genius, this and that, whoop-de-whoop. And that's perfectly fine if it's true. And it's not. And that's the problem. And especially when CD's out and Cooper are out, there needed to be a lot more stress on scoring early. That's how I felt. And if you can get this Raiders defense early, I felt like you had a good chance at winning this game. Now you're behind. You're not doing much in the offensive end from the beginning. And I'm looking at it, I'm saying, these guys are going to feast regardless. You have Waller. Waller went down, if I'm not mistaken. He's having his own issues and it's coming back and forth. So you're really only dealing with Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow and Derek Carr just beat your entire defense. You know what I mean? And that's the craziest part about it. So I look at it like that, and there's no Henry Ruggs. There's no Waller. Josh Jacobs is okay. But at the end of the day, you got beat by a team that isn't the better team. And I think that all starts with Mike McCarthy and what he's instilling in you. And obviously it is on Dak as well. Because at the end of the day, you're QB1 and you have that title of everything's on you. If I'm a safety and coach is a safety and we're the reason why, we lost a game-winning touchdown, we're still going to blame the QB at the end of the day because that's just how it goes. No one's going to ask us why it was our fault. They're going to ask the QB why he didn't throw another touchdown to match that one. So it's definitely an intangible of a lot of things. But I feel like Mike McCarthy's overall mentality, especially in the locker room, just doesn't deliver that I want to win a Super Bowl type mentality.
Okay. I'm going to start with the Raiders first. I think they're very, very like I said, they don't show too many games, but one thing that I noticed about the Raiders, they're very, very small on the D line. Like they got good pass rushes. Kind of, matter of fact, they're similar to the Cowboys on the D line. They're very, very small. I think Dallas gave them the game for a lot of reasons. Because one thing about it was, I think they both just like say, "Hey, you take this win." One thing, even the Raiders, the only pass rush you have is Parson, and no one chip blocked him or nothing on the end. He pretty much had his way when he wasn't tired. I think what really hurts the defense, the Cowboys defense, they were tired. They were on the field a long time. Mm-hmm. Even when it was funny because like I said, I was with my family and half of them were Cowboys fan, and it's funny that when Raiders scored, kicked the ball off, what's the name took it to the house, but guess what? Defense had to get right back on the field.
Right.
Like they had like 5 minutes off, and now we got to go back and do it again. And I think that's what really, really hurt them. When you have a small D line and you have small guys like that, and you take that pounding over and over and over again, that's the biggest issue. And Raiders was trying to give them the game because they went to a stupid, like the last drive, they went to a stupid zone, pretty much like a cover 4. Right. All the way until they get into the red zone, like, okay, now let's play man, and now let's bring a little heat. But that's the Raiders for you. They don't have no leadership, no guidance from nobody, and they're just trying to figure it out on their own. Now, on the Cowboys, I had the Cowboys lose the last 2 games anyway, just for the fact Amari Cooper's hurt. When Amari's out, that offense is totally different. Another reason why I say that is because Amari is the only one out of all the receivers that can beat the one-on-one. Like what they have is when you have Amari on one side, you have Lamb in the slot, and then you have Gallup on the outside. Gallup only runs 2 routes, slant and vertical. That's all he runs. If you see what he called a slant and a vertical. You got Lamb. Lamb catches the screens. He runs the outs, and he runs the drags across the middle. Pretty much. That's his area. Hence the fact that's why you kind of sleep on the tight end a little bit because you jump Lamb before you see tight end, and the tight end sneaks and get his yardage. And then you got Amari. Amari, if you take you give him the one-on-one, guess what? He's gonna win the one-on-one 9 times. He runs good.
One of the best route runners in the game.
Yeah, so he has great releases. So that's the thing that was missing. You don't have that because they got to the point to where even if you was watching the game, Dak was looking at Gallup when you had a tight end wide open just on the coverage. Right. And it was just like, I'm just gonna go with Gallup. I'm gonna ride with Gallup instead of just playing football and knowing who we got. Because and a lot of it is just lack of trust because you don't trust them to make the plays.
Right.
Yeah. I said it from the beginning. Cowboys are good. They're a good team. When healthy, just both the ends was out. You went from a good team to an average team, probably mediocre, depending on who you're playing. One of the biggest issues with the Cowboys, they're so small in the middle. You have pass rush on the outside, but you don't have that stout D tackle in the middle, and they're gonna make the playoffs because of the division that they're in. But they're not gonna beat the Rams. They're not gonna beat the Bucks. they could actually play well against the Cardinals just because they're not a smash mouth and
Right.
and what's the names Murray's to run around, and that it's just all about matchups for them. It's just gonna give them problems, and I think he's an old school coach. He don't really like when he takes risks. He takes risks at the weirdest times, and when he does it, you're like, this is the time you should. But he's that old school. He probably has the little analytical book that they have, and he goes and he looks at, hey, what it looks like if we do it like this. So I really, truly, truly think that's his issue. Are the Cowboys in trouble because they lost 2 in a row? No, they play the Saints Thursday. They'll beat the Saints because the Saints, everybody's hurt. They're on a third string quarterback. They're on a third string running back. But it's the Cowboys. They win, and guess what happens? Everybody go get back on the bandwagon. Hey, we back. So, but we'll see, man. It's early. Now, Thursday night game, the last game of the night. I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched maybe a quarter or two, and then you know what? I played games with the family because when I saw the Saints with the third string quarterback and third string running back, I knew right then and there they finna get slaughtered. So what's your take on it with the Bills? Because the Bills coming in after losing.
Right. I had the same situation. I was with my niece. It was her second Thanksgiving, but she was born in November, so it was really her the first time she was a little nugget. So it is what it is. I was enjoying time with family. I was catching it here and there. My biggest thing is, Coach, I give you all the credit in the world because I was high on this Bills team. I'm high on Brian Daboll, future head coach of the Chicago Bears. But with that being said, I look at it though, and the Bills are the Rams in so many different ways. In that idea of the reason why I feel like Josh Allen is struggling, he has his own issues. I feel like his decision making, he forces a lot of balls. But why he's throwing so many interceptions, even against the Saints defense, okay, that's cool. You threw 260, 4 touchdowns. You had 2 picks on Thanksgiving. Why? And he's been throwing multiple picks. It's not just one bad pick in garbage time. These are multiple picks in crucial moments of the game. To me, it all comes down to the same thing with Matthew Stafford. You're just getting figured out because you don't have a run game. You are the run game, really. Singletary has not lived up to who he's supposed to be. Sony Michel, Henderson on the Rams side of things are not who they're supposed to be. Moss is out. So you have to look at it and think, when the defenses are preparing for you, they understand you're willing to make mistakes. And we know you're not running the ball. So we just have to account that Josh Allen is going to make mistakes, and we're going to pride ourselves on that. And we're going to honestly call your bluff that, all right, he's not going to throw that ball because he knows, we got a safety over Diggs and you're going to do your thing. And that's where these mistakes are happening. You have Knox, you have Cole Beasley. People sleep on Cole Beasley, but it's definitely something where you have to look at it and understand that as many weapons as he has, Josh just needs to be a better decision maker. I think Josh can read defenses. I think Josh can make good decisions. I think he gets caught up in the moment and caught up in the what can be for a highlight reel, and that's what happens. I think that starts with McDermott. I think that starts with the ball. I think that starts with Josh Allen. Point blank. Period.
So let me ask you this: is it Josh Allen's fault or is it the ball's fault?
I would say that's more Josh Allen because at the end of the day, hear me out, Daboll is telling you every single thing to do, right? Now, whether Josh Allen listens or not, that is on Josh Allen. The same knock I had with Cam Newton. I never blamed Ron Rivera for the reason that Cam Newton was throwing interceptions. That's Cam Newton. I'm not blaming Ron Rivera for the reason Cam Newton gets hurt. Cam Newton wants to go running between 3 middle linebackers. That's perfectly fine, but he needs to understand, one, you're probably going to fumble. 2, you're probably going to crack a rib or tear an ankle. Or 3, you're going to end up worse than you started because you're too busy taking these hits. I see all these quarterbacks trying to be superheroes now. Just play your game. It's why I love Tom Brady so much. We saw Tom Brady run for a 10-yard gain to get a first down when Gronk was open wide up the middle. And Gronk was even like, dude, like, what are we doing? Why aren't you throwing me the ball? That's an easy touchdown. And Brady said, I just want the first. Like, I wasn't going to force it. And Gronk was like, you know what? With Gronk's injuries, everything he has going on, that's perfectly understandable. But Gronk was willing to be Superman. You were about to take a cheap shot from a safety, and Tom saved you from that. So that at the end of the day, I think it all just comes down to discipline and just going back to those fundamentals of let's get the first down and eventually we will have 7 points on the board. Now, I'm not saying the ball is free of this. I feel like there's a lot of things. I don't know why you're making that face. I think he's.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Because remember, when this kid came into the league, he had a great arm. He had an arm strength. That was it. Nothing else. And he had legs. That was it. And he has transformed him into an MVP candidate going into last year. Now into this year, I'm starting to see a huge drop off from that. And a big part of it is obviously defenses having a whole year of things to watch on film, things to prepare for, what Josh likes, what Josh doesn't like. Now, if Josh isn't built on anything, that's where I feel like guys get exposed. And you might agree or disagree with me on that. If you go into a season, say you win MVP, you have the best route running in the game. If you don't spend your entire offseason not only working on your route running, but working on your hands, working on your release, working on your technique, then guys are going to figure you out come year 2. Because if you haven't worked on anything, all they've been doing is watching what you are right now. So you need to elevate that. Josh Allen was good last year. He was an MVP candidate, but he didn't build off anything. There's nothing you're showing me in this second year of elite quarterback play that tells me, okay, that he's a legitimate MVP candidate. Because there's an MVP candidate, and then there's a legitimate MVP candidate. Josh is one of those guys whose name is always going to be out there, but he's never going to win it until he starts proving that I can do this on a consistent basis. Now, I love Josh. I love DeBall. I love McDermott. But your offense is one-dimensional. And Josh hasn't done anything to me so far to show me how he's preparing for defenses the way they're preparing for him. So that's how I look at it. And on the Saints side of things, I told you last week, no Alvin Kamara, no win. That's just – it's like no shoes, no service. Point blank period. It ain't happening. Trevor Siemian, fuck out of here. No.
So it's not the ball's fault that Josh Allen against the Jaguars only put up 6 points. It's Josh Allen's fault, is what you're saying. It's not the play.
How many interceptions did he throw?
I don't know.
About 3.
But I'm just trying to get an understanding.
Can you score if you turn the ball over?
It's 9-6.
Can you score if you turn the ball over, though?
No.
Then how are you supposed to score?
Again, I truly, I'm gonna go 60-40 is Duval, 40% Josh Allen. One thing about it,
Josh is not a rookie. This is Josh's 3rd year. Last year, you were an MVP candidate. I don't want to hear 60-40 because that's 50-50. Both.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We keep saying he's an MVP candidate. That's.
Well, no, I'm saying Bills fans want to sit there and tell me he's an MVP candidate.
I know,
and that's what I'm saying. But you have to keep that same energy though when he's not, because then they're gonna say, "Oh, he's still young." No. You said he's an MVP candidate, so let's.
I think that's the argument, though. That's the whole argument about Josh Allen. Right. I never really just put him in the MVP candidate. I hate doing like the MVP candidate because it's whoever's hot at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Like right now, you can say who's the MVP candidate. You really can't tell. It's just whoever's hot at the moment. Because
the last 3 weeks, and it comes down to that.
Because it's not really a criteria of who's the MVP. If your team's winning and you're the leading quarterback, then guess what?
As long as you're the quarterback, it's fine.
Yeah. Are you that defensive player? You raise a lot of havoc, then a possibility. But I never was big on the Bills. I wasn't if you go back and you look at week 1, week 2, I've always said it. I think Josh Allen I think he's a good game manager. He's a good athlete. Again, playing quarterback, he doesn't make all the reads. And I think sometimes you go back to what you are. Oh, I got a big, strong arm. Oh, you do? So let me see if I can throw this thing in there. He takes stupid risks. Right. And I truly, and that's the same even with Pat Mahomes. You can look at Pat Mahomes. He takes those risks, but he learns from it and he adapts. And I think I'm still, and I know some people, we have this conversation. I'm waiting on that. Okay, he understands.
Right.
He hasn't showed me a game where he
manager moment.
Like you can say, well, that's just one moment, but it clicks. Like that's what makes you who you are. That's what makes you that superstar or that MVP caliber quarterback or player. Because one thing about it, we can sit here and we can name all these quarterbacks that are good, that we think are good, They have moments where it's like, okay, it clicked. But I've never seen him take over a game throwing wise if they're not already up.
Right.
A lot of it is, and like I said, I think everybody say you got to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. The run game is not strong this year. It's not going to be strong.
Not at all.
I said one thing about it is what you got to realize with all the COVID rules, plus if guys got shot and who didn't get shots, plus the CBA rules of practice time and this and that. The one group that misses all that is the linemen because you don't have that togetherness that you should. Like, because you can't work on everything because you don't have the time. And you got to have, and that's an important position because you got to have 5 guys on the same page,
right?
No matter what. And I think that's been the biggest knock on running the ball. Again, unless you're Derrick Henry or you're the Colts O-line, which, because all of them suckers is good. And you can even say the 49ers.
You ain't going to give my boy some credit, though?
Who?
Jonathan Taylor. You going to say he's the O-line?
Yeah. When does Jonathan Taylor get hit?
Hey, when does Jonathan Taylor get tackled?
Thank you. No, of course. Listen, you have a Hall of Fame left guard already. Yeah. He's legit. The thing about it, what people realize, when he has to go against safeties or an outside linebacker, of course he's going to win every time. Mm-hmm. I think that's where people they don't understand. Don't get me wrong, Jonathan Taylor's a good running back. I will never take that away from him. But you also got to realize you're not dancing in the backfield.
Baby, come on, coach, talk to me.
You're not dancing in the backfield.
No.
And then you take, like I said, that's why I said the Colts O-line, and then you take Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was leading the lead after contact with yardage. So basically, like, hey, I'm gonna take this lick, but I'm gonna keep on going. I think that's the thing where people don't realize, like, you got to have one of the two. And then even if you say the 49ers does a great job but that's Shanahan because he mixes it up and he put receivers at running back and do stuff. So I think that's where they're so busy, like, hey, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. You got to have one or two things. You have your line, which is not going to be strong as it usually is. Plus, you got to have a stud at running back. And I think that's one of the issues with the Cowboys. He's hurt.
Right.
He ain't been, ever since he signed that contract, he hasn't been the same.
Is he hurt? I don't know.
But to go back to the Bills, they can't win it with Josh Allen throwing the football.
Right.
Like, you can say that with the Chiefs. You can say that with the Bucks. You can say that with, goddamn, my mind went blank, with the Packers. But you can't say that. And even you brought up Stafford. These are guys that have good arms, but again, you can't get past happy with these guys. Because if you get past happy with these guys, they're going to throw you picks. Right. They're going to turn the ball over. That's one of the knocks. You could say he played for the Lions, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
If he has to throw a lot, he's going to throw you picks.
And that's why, to me, Ryan Tannehill and the Titans are starting to win more games is because, I would say if this is Matthew Stafford and then that's no shot at Matt, but or Josh Allen in these situations where AJ, Julio, and Derek are all out, you have a problem. But Ryan Tannehill doesn't have a strong arm. He doesn't run the ball. He is just a game manager, just like Teddy Bridgewater, just like other individuals. He just manages the game. So that's why I think you're still seeing a little bit of a few wins out of them. If you would have had a Ryan Tannehill, I feel like you have a definite, decision that, okay, well, we can do this even without a run game. But that's what Josh needs to figure out because you're becoming Mitchell Trubisky very fast. And by that, I mean you have all the talent in the world to do things. You have a great arm. You're just not accurate. You make the horrible decision-making, and you're very athletic. And that's what it comes down to. Now, he's better than Mitch. I'm not comparing him to Mitchell Trubisky just because they're in the same locker room. But, learn from his mistakes and understand that you need to become a game manager or these defenses are going to figure you out.
But what is a good arm to you?
A good arm?
Yeah. I'm just asking.
A good arm is if I could lay it out, if I could count on you time and time again, a good arm to me is just, I don't even care if you can whip it like 80 yards. Like, as long as you're accurate, that's all I care about. Now, if you're throwing a fucking pool noodle out there, then obviously I don't care how accurate you are. If you can't go more than 10 yards, it's not going to go. If you can bridge anywhere, to me, from 30 to 50 yards at ease and still remain accurate, that's pretty solid to me. I think you can win with that. I don't need you to be Patrick Mahomes and throw 80 yards to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. I think where a lot of people, which, because like I said, I hadn't watched Josh Allen in college, but is that who he is? Like what you see? Because 9 times out of 10, like I said, you look at Pat Mahomes, because I've seen him in high school.
Right.
Like what he's doing now,
he's developed.
It's the exact same. No, hell no. It's the exact same thing he did when he was in high school. And you heard him say it. Yes, you heard him say it. He said it. He was like, I just now figured out how to read defenses.
Right.
Because
that's what I mean, though. He's learning things. You know what I mean? Like Josh is the same guy mindset-wise that he was in college. That's what I mean. He is demanding, and it's the same thing with Mitchell Trubisky, except the difference is Josh actually is talented. Like, Mitch is athletic, but Josh is relying on his talent and his athleticism to win him games. He needs to take that step that Patrick Mahomes took. Okay, I can read defenses now. I'm going to break down the defense. I'm going to break down the safety up the top. I'm going to make people miss. He needs to be able to do that. And the same thing with Fields. You know, right now, I understand relying on your athleticism, relying on your head coach of being competent. You know, you can't do both for too long, especially in Chicago. But you know, at some point, I need you to continue to progress, or it's going to be very quick. You know, Mitchell Trubisky, 2018, he makes a Pro Bowl. That's cool. 2019, past that, he didn't learn anything. He never learned a defense. He never built off his accuracy. He never built off anything else, and defense is prepared for it. And he looked like dog shit ever since. So you need to do that. And not to say that Josh Allen's going to have that kind of drop off very fast, but 5 years from now, if you're to tell me that Josh Allen's a backup quarterback, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't start to change things and bad results are going to be caused of that. And you know, you are losing Brian Daboll. Whether you like Brian Daboll or not, Coach, Brian Daboll is going to be a head coach somewhere next year. Don't know where it's going to be. Yeah, without a doubt. I don't see why he wants to stay. I don't see what's the reason in staying. So I look at it like that. And you definitely do have to ask yourself, you know, okay, well, you have Sean McDermott, and I'm not a Sean McDermott guy. I think even before Daboll, he just doesn't put together good teams or good offenses. There's no real mindset or identity. So if it's just Josh Allen and McDermott, I think you have a serious problem. So I think Josh has a lot to figure out very quickly.
So why do you think that, though? Why you think it's all Daboll and not Sean McDermott?
I don't think it's all Daboll at all. I think Daboll and Josh Allen have a very good relationship, and we've seen that with Justin Fields and Daboll. They were good friends in college because he loves those mobile type of quarterbacks. He loves guys who can throw it, but he loves guys who can run it first. He loves guys like that. Now, McDermott, throughout history, Coach, tell me one thing he's done.
I don't know. I can't. But the same thing as Daboll, though, too.
No, but you're just a coordinator, though. You know what I mean? I've never seen you in that head coach role. Now, he's going to get the opportunities because a lot of people are saying he's the reason that Josh Allen is you know, becoming who he is, this, and that. So he will have that pedigree.
But then if you say he's the reason he's becoming who he is, you
also can say he's the reason why he's not.
He's the reason why y'all losing.
Right, but you also look at it as the situations. Do the Jags want to hold on to Urban Myers? Do the Bears want to hold on to Nagy? Do so and so and so. The Raiders have a situation going on. There's a lot of different people out there that are going to be looking for a head coach. So the New York Giants, you know, they're definitely someone as well. You know, the Cowboys, they don't know what they're doing. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for head coaches, and regardless of how we feel about it, regardless of his digression in this year, Brian Daboll has made a clear-cut case that, you know, he can be a leader. The players respect him. He's a great leader on the field. And, you know, I understand he's digressing, but again, are we going to blame Matt Nagy for the reason that Mitchell Trubisky didn't succeed? I don't think we are. And that's just, I think he's going to get an opportunity somewhere. The same way Eric Bieniemy does. Now, Eric doesn't accept him, but I think Brian would.
Eric never got offered.
He's got all these meetings, though. He's brought into all these meetings, all this.
He gets the interviews, but he has never been offered.
I think he should be offered,
but he's not. Eric Bieniemy is not going to get offered. I truly, and I say that. This is why I say that, because the difference between him and Daboll, like you said, Eric Bieniemy doesn't get the same clout or the same talk as Daboll. Right. You said it right then and there. You're like, hey, he's leading the offense and he's doing this and he's done. Eric Bieniemy, well, he has what's the name? He's Danny Reed's doing this, and Andy Reid's doing that, and this and this and that. Oh, he has Pat Mahomes. Like he doesn't get the same talk as you compare it to the ball. Like I said, I don't know the ball. Never. At least one thing about Eric Bieniemy, he at least was a head coach.
Right.
He was a head coach.
Before. I think the ball was in college. I don't think he was. He never has been in the league.
So I don't. Like I said, I don't know much about the ball. I don't know. I mean, it's a lot easier. But we've also seen you see head coaches that OCs.
Right.
It doesn't really mix OC and the head coach. Not all of them. Huh?
Matt Nagy.
Well, and that's the thing. But then what people realize, man, when you take, especially as a head coach, two things you gotta have. Well, really three. You gotta have a good GM that's on the same page as you and understand you. And then you have to have cap room. And then you backdoor it with you got to have two hell of a OCDC coaches that know their stuff and that y'all are on the same page and trying to run it, and you feel confident in them calling the plays. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I said, I don't know the ball. I don't see any change if he goes to the Bears from Nagy. You say you do. But go ahead.
My thing is, if he replaces Matt, I'm curious to see now as an OC. You know how it goes, Coach. You have your opinions, you have your ways about going about things, but the guy ahead of you is always, and the GM as well, always going to be the one that tells you how this is going to go, what we're going to run, what we're going to do. There's not always that connection. Now, if he gets his own team, that's where I'm curious to see the guys he puts around him, the guys he wants to bring in, from a player standpoint and a coaching point. With the thing with Matt Nagy, and it's been my biggest problem with him, is okay, you're an offensive guru. You're a quarterback whisperer. Let's see who you bring in to help you and to help mold you and to help do things so that, it's not just you seeing the entire board. Matt Nagy brings in a bunch of patsies. He brings in a bunch of puppets. Bill Lazor, a fired coach. All these other individuals who have been fired coaches. He brings in people who, not to bring it back to Nagy, but just in general, I view it as a coaching perspective. If your offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators aren't willing or aren't able to take your job at some point, you don't have a good coach's room. If you have a bunch of guys who are just willing to say, Matt can do whatever he wants, we're just here to voice our opinion, and we know he's not going to listen to us, I don't think you have a good coach's room. Every single coach's opinion should matter. And with the Chicago Bears, the only one that matters is Nagy, because he hired a bunch of people that opinions really don't matter because he just doesn't want to, lose his job. And that's the real ideal. If Coach, I promise you, I will stand by this and I will burn it at the stake to say this. If Brian Daboll was the Bears offensive coordinator right now, Nagy would have been fired. Nagy would have been fired already, because at least there's somebody that okay, we can go to the future with this. If you have Bill Lazor or our special teams coach coaching this team, obviously we're no better off. So I look at it like that. I'm curious to see how Brian and many other offensive coordinators like Eric Bieniemy actually operate when they're putting a team together that they construct, not that McDermott or Andy Reid construct, not Ryan Pace and Nagy. I think it's very different, and I think some of these guys are very underrated.
But one thing about Sean McDermott, you got to respect him because one,
all right,
he got an ex defensive coordinator that was a head coach, so he didn't have to work. Like those are the things. Like when you have what the Bills have, you have a top 5 defense. You want to say number 1 because of who they play. You got a number 1 defense. You have a number 1 defense that kind of helps you. Like you could play a lot. You could do a lot of things when hey, my defense is gonna hold me down as long as we don't give up a pick 6. Like those things, like a lot of stuff played when you look at the Bears, and I know because you're a fan, like you think with your heart when it comes to them. One thing about it is when you look at teams like that, like everything changes because guess what? You might have Fields, but your O-line is not as good as the line in Buffalo. Oh, you look at your receiver corps. Their receiver corps might not match up compared to Buffalo. And that defense, they don't match up compared to what you had in Buffalo. And then on top of that, it don't even matter. Hell, the salary cap. Like people thinking that some people they treat this like they're playing Madden, like, oh, you get this guy.
Hey, only the Rams are playing Madden.
But they're not playing Madden. They just because the only thing they're doing is they just getting rid of the first round. They're getting rid of the top 3 picks because they're like, hey, a draft pick is only good. It's like a car. A car is expensive. It looks good, but once you drive it off the lot, it's nothing. Because it's still at the end of the day, it's a guessing game of who you want. So why play the guessing game? I know for a fact he's doing it in the NFL. Come on, and I think that's where people they mess up because they thinking, oh man, this, all this, or we can get this guy or this guy. No, man, it's about situations and making money and trying to grow. And I think, like I said, I haven't really followed the ball like that, but
that's because your team has a good coach, and you're not paying attention to other coaches. All I do is look at other coaches. That's all I have.
But when you look at other coaches, when you look at it, there's qualities that you got to have. There's things that needs to be to the table.
Like that's nothing with the ball. I will say that though. I will say if he were to come to the Bears tomorrow, I want to know how is David Montgomery going to look? How is Khalil Herbert going to be instilled in the offense? Because I haven't seen you instill Singletary in the offense or Moss or any of those guys in that backfield in Buffalo. So I'm curious to see that. Now, again, though, it's a situation of the situation you're in. Singletary is not that great. You know what I mean? So the Bears offensive line is very young, and they're trying to get together, and they're trying to put something together, but it's going to have to come with experience. But it's definitely something where you have to look at it and say, in a different situation, in a situation that they can pick. Now, Coach, if you got offered an offensive coordinating job or a wide receivers coaching job in the NFL right now, would you care what team it was?
Would I care?
Yeah, would you care?
No.
Exactly. So when Brian DeBall takes the job of Buffalo, he's just trying to get his foot in the door. Now, when he gets offered if and when he gets offered a head coaching job, he can pick where he really wants to go by all these offers. He doesn't have to force himself into a situation.
But that's the thing, though. You never know.
Right. You might only get one offer.
If you look at it, it's what fits him well. Because if you ask me if I had a choice out of the Giants and the Cowboys, I'd pick the Giants. Not the Cowboys, the Giants or the Bears, I pick the Giants. Because those skill guys least fit more of what you had in Buffalo. Right. More than anything. But like I said, it's a time to tell. We just gotta wait and see. Man, it's getting late. Here we go. So we're getting ready to rock these picks. Pittsburgh, Cincy. Who you got and why?
Give me Joey B.
Why?
Joey B.
Oh, that's right. You hate the Steelers. You don't believe in the Steelers.
No, I do. But I watched Najee get a little banged up last week. I'm happy he's back. I did think he was out. But he's banged up. He's banged up. Ben was banged up before. Ben's been banged up since 2019. So I look at that. I look at the way this defense is playing for Cincy. It's very underrated in a sense of they're not elite by any means, but they're a scrappy defense. They will make you fight for it. They will hurt some people. They are, they are deadly. They really are for different reasons. They're not going to beat you. They're not going to leave you at 6 points. You know what I mean? But they're definitely going to go out there and they're going to wreak havoc. And you have Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Boyd, the T. Higgins, Burrow. I definitely like them. I definitely think I'd take them in this game.
Yep, I'm with you. I'm riding with Cincy just for simple fact, man. Pittsburgh defense is banged up. T.J. Watts, I don't know. They said he's doubtful or he's questionable. So I'm gonna go with the safe bet.
Our boy Charles is somewhere right now smiling because that's exactly what he said. He said, once you pay that kid, watch him get hurt.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of them. Here we go. Game. I think the game of the week: Bucks versus Colts.
I'm gonna give it to the Colts. And I think it's just because they're surprising a lot of people. They are clicking at the right time. And again, Tom Brady does not give a shit about the regular season from that standpoint. He knows as long as I'm in the window of the playoffs, that's perfectly fine. Now, the mentality of that is now it's obviously Tom going in there and he wants to win the game. But the team and Tom understand if we drop it, it's perfectly fine. The Colts are in a point if we drop 3 more games, we're probably out of it. So they need every single second of every single drop. Now, can I count on Carson Wentz? Probably not. But with this secondary in Tampa being out for the most part of it, I look at it and I say you definitely can get away with a little bit. I think you can get away with a little bit. But I think it's going to be Jonathan Taylor Day again.
TB12.
Oh man, talking about my heart. Talking about thinking with my heart.
No. For what? Okay. Look, let me ask you a question.
I'm gonna say that to you for now.
No, let me ask you a question. And then just do this. If you make a bet, if you bet $25 for 17 games, 18 games,
right?
Are you gonna be down or are you gonna be up at the end of the season with Tom Brady?
Probably up.
So say no more then. But honestly, truthfully, here's why. The secondaries, they're getting healthier. They have 2 cornerbacks coming, 2 of the starters coming back.
Right.
The biggest issue is that what people don't realize, you can throw on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but you can't run on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
And I think one of the things and I've seen it happen plenty of times with Jonathan Taylor, and I don't understand why they do it. There's a lot of times where Jonathan Taylor should at least touch the ball 25 times, but he doesn't. Sometimes he doesn't touch the ball 25 times. There's games when you look, he touches 17, 18 times, they have 100 yards, and it's like, man, why you stop giving him the ball?
Right.
Sometimes they get pass happy with Carson Wentz.
Right. I never really understood that because it's not like you have an elite quarterback from that perspective. You understand Carson's kind of a liability as well. So I find it weird, but I feel like they do that to keep him relatively healthy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But you got like 3 backs. You got 3 backs.
Well, you got 2 because Mac won't play.
He played. But still, you still got 3. But I think, and I'm a big believer that what's gonna happen, the OC, Carson Wentz, they're gonna get pass happy because they could throw. You can throw in the Bucs right now. They're getting healthy.
I'm hearing a lot of what ifs, Coach.
They're getting healthy. What you can
a lot of what ifs.
What is? I said you could throw on them, but
I think they're gonna get pass happy. We don't know.
If you go look at the games that they won, the games that they lost, they were pass happy because Tennessee. What happened? He threw a pick 6 because he didn't want to take a sack. Like you go look at the game and then go look at the rushing yards. Should have been pounding the ball, but within doubt, guess what? You still got that man in the back, and his name is Tom Brady. I'm not even gonna say his whole entire name. You know who he is. Hey.
Did you check out his little documentary on ESPN Plus?
I hadn't watched it yet.
You want the link? I got you with it.
I can get it, but you can send it to me. Send it to me in the chat. But I hadn't checked it out yet. But like I said, one thing about it is, in God we trust. Second coming of Jesus, man.
Man, bro.
Tom Brady is Jesus in cleats.
I ain't gonna confirm nor deny that.
Yeah, but no, at the end of the day, man, I'm gonna ride with him because I don't trust Carson Wentz. When you start talking about games,
right,
you gotta depend on one person. I take my money on Brady over Carson Wentz anytime. Right. So I know you go with the Colts because all of a sudden now you're a believer. I think the Colts still gonna make the playoffs.
Don't say all of a sudden. I said it all year. I know they are my dark horse.
No, I picked it from the beginning of the season to make the playoffs. Right. I didn't have the Titans. I think I had Titans like wild card.
Yeah, I didn't
not make it. But TB12. Here we go. Panthers, Dolphins.
I'm gonna say Panthers by barely. Barely. I don't trust Tua.
But you trust Cam Newton?
I trust Christian McCaffrey.
I'm gonna go Dolphins.
Do you, bro? Do you? I'm back 5 games against you. I'm back 5. So I got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah. Man, look.
Back 5.
We don't worry about that.
Back 5.
And I go Dolphins because I trust them more offense and defensively compared to, like I said, Cam Newton's good. Cam Newton's gonna run and that. But if the Dolphins score 21 points,
right,
Cam can't bring you back in the game.
Right.
He's a good quarterback. He's a great athlete, but he can't. He doesn't have the arm to just sit there and not chunk it across the field. So I'm gonna go with them. Like you said, I'm gonna do me, baby.
Keep pounding, baby.
Hey, because guess what?
Coach.
Because guess what? Doing me has me what? Winning. Because right now, like you said, you're back 5 games.
Listen.
So look, I'm gonna keep doing me. Here we go.
Rough week.
Titans, Pats.
I'll give it to Charles. I'll give it to Charles and his Pats. I will. I'll say they get it out.
Yeah, I'm riding with the Pats. Not because, and I'm not on that train yet to like everybody else.
No, me neither.
Hey, so the Patriots.
I'll give you this week. And
at first, like I said, if Brown was playing, then I wouldn't have gave you this week.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
It doesn't matter that Brown is not playing, and Tannehill has a second string running back and I can't name that one player at receiver out there for him. So of course,
tell me this, Coach. Something happens to Tannehill. Who's his backup quarterback?
I don't know.
Not a single person in the league could tell you. I don't even think his backup quarterback knows.
Yeah, so he won't get hurt because they take care of him, and he don't really throw the ball that much. Right. If he does, he's terrible because they don't have that play action. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna ride with the Patriots. I know it's gonna be hype, but Patriots, we gonna see who the Patriots are because they finna get ready to go through this gauntlet where they have to play the Bills, Colts, and the Bills. So they're gonna lose. Like I said, Patriots lose. I have Patriots losing two, maybe 3 games because I think they'll lose to the Dolphins. They always lose to the Dolphins in Miami.
I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah. So we'll ride with it. Here we go, Eagles, Giants.
Eagles.
Why?
I hate Freddie.
Oh, that's why?
Yeah. I'll leave it at that.
I like the Eagles. And like I said, they're doing a great job at the quarterback position. They understand what he's good at and they're utilizing it to his strengths. Like they hide his weaknesses very, very well. They hide his weaknesses very, very well. And they're finding a way. One thing about it, Hurts, he's a great leader. I have to give him credit. And one thing about Hurts is he knows who he is. Like he doesn't try to play outside of who he is.
Right.
Like if it's
Josh Allen.
Yeah, if it's a throw he don't think he can make, he will run it or check down or chunk it out of bounds. Like that's one thing I will give credit to Hurts. And like I said, that defense, they're gonna play behind them. They're gonna do their thing. So I like the Eagles. That's my pick. Giants might have an upper hand just because you don't know anything about who's calling the plays. You don't have an idea of what kind of play call or what they're gonna do open up wise. But I said it from the beginning, man. You got a special team coordinator as a head coach. He never was an OC or DC, so he should have, to my opinion, he should have had a better OC, more because you got young guys. You got a young team. It should have been more creative.
You gotta look at it though, Coach. Too, you understand as the new OC, you can't just go in and say, week 12 and say, all right, we're changing up the offense. Like it still has to be somewhat relatively the same. There might be a little bit of differences here and there in play calling, but it can't be a completely new playbook because you're 12 weeks into a season.
No, it's not that it's 12. It's not that it's going to be a new playbook, but it's the style of calling plays.
No, right. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah, because there's probably plays
like it's not going to be what he wants it to be.
But yeah, to a degree. But it's still, if you stay inside that playbook, it's just like if you play, and me and you play Madden, we got the same offensive playbook.
Right. You're
going to call plays a little bit different from my play calling because it's what you believe in. Even with the run game, I'm a more, hey, we're going with the power and the dual blocks. Compared to you, you might like, hey, let's run the toss. Let's run this. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's run.
I'm always up the middle.
And I think that's where people got to realize with what you got with the Giants. I said it, and I said it before. Like you should be doing a lot of motioning. You should be doing a lot of jet sweeps. You should be moving and changing the picture and not just line up in the exact same way because you got athletic guys that can beat the one-on-one, but they can't beat it if they stay in that one spot. I'm a big believer. I should see a lot more screens, and that's the thing because all that depends on the style of person you are, on what you like. If it's things that you like, that's just like in my offense at the high school. There's 6-7 plays that I like that I would call, and there's plays when I look up like, oh my god, why are they calling this? This don't make no sense. And you have those discussions. You know what I'm saying? There's things, and even with like routes, like my route stuff that I like route running wise can be totally different from you. Even if you're a defensive player, your coverages might be different of what you like. You might be a guy. I know I'm just guessing. Hey, I want to bring the house. I want to bring some heat on.
Yeah,
you can play man, or some people might say, hey, no, I like to sit in this zone. And
yeah, it's all about comfortability and what you're comfortable with. Like me personally as a safety, I was more of like, I'm down to blitz and just let me be free. Let me do my thing. Now, senior year, long story short, got a brand new coach. He wants me to be on my guy 90% of the game. You want me to be over the tight end 90% of the game. Coach, I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. On a good day. Now, I'm looking at this 6'2" tight end, and I'm like, if I was out there on my little island, I could smack dude, and I can come from the corner, and I could bust him like that. But I can't do that if I'm covering him 90% of the game. But that was his mentality. He's so used to it. In the prior school he worked at to always having your DBs on every single man. And I'm like, bro, you don't know. Like the last 3 years, I've played free. I'm doing my thing. I just do me, and I get it done. And that's what it comes down to. So I feel like, you can't really go out here and expect Kenny Golladay, one, to be healthy, and two, to be a completely different guy than you understand. So I still think it's going to be relatively the same.
Yeah, 100%. Falcons, Jags, who you got?
I like the Falcons. I like the Falcons a lot. I feel like they've been catching a little bit of momentum, very slightly, but they have been catching it. I take Kyle Pitts any day. I love Trevor Lawrence, Clemson for life, baby, but it's a little rough over there. It's getting a little rough over there.
I like the Falcons. I think the Falcons, they match well against the Jaguars, and I think, but I wonder if Patterson is playing. That's the biggest issue because he didn't play the last game.
I don't think so.
If he's, then it might be a little bit closer. But I'm gonna ride with the Falcons because they just got slapped 2 weeks ago, so they've been out, and then so I'm gonna ride with them. They're gonna figure it out. Jets, Texans.
Jesus. Who's quarterback?
For who?
For the Jets.
Probably Nick. What's the name? The draft pick. The draft pick.
Zach Wilson.
You said what I can? Yeah.
Zach Wilson hasn't played in weeks.
Well, he's the quarterback.
He gone.
You said what?
Know. They haven't played him in weeks, and he's not hurt.
No, he's. That's what I'm telling you. He's playing this week.
Oh, he's playing today.
Yes.
Man, bro, this is one of those moments. I'm down 5. I'm gonna say the Texans.
What does it mean? The moment you down 5.
I'm down 5, bro. I'm down 5. You're up 5.
And you said that like, because you was gonna pick the Jets.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Texans, but
you thought I was gonna pick the Jets?
Who are you picking?
Come on, baby.
Give me the Jets.
Come on, man.
Give me the Jets.
I got it written down already. I'm going with the Texans. I think what's name is a better quarterback, and I think he's way. I think their defense is way better than the Jets.
Yeah.
I think the Texans is overall in every category. I'll pick the Texans. I'm riding with the Texans. Texans got their mojo back a little bit last week and got that win. I don't care who's the quarterback for the Jets because the Jets are who they are. No, I take that back. If they started the backup quarterback, then I might would have reconsidered. Right. But because I like him over the one they drafted. But hey, I'm riding with the Texans. Texans all day. You can keep them Jets. Here we go. Chargers versus Broncos.
Chargers. Jay Herb, gotta go with him. Come on now. Teddy check down?
Nope, never was. Nope. I don't like the Broncos defense. You know they got the little pass rusher coming back, but I'm riding with the Chargers because
Jay Herbs.
I don't believe in Teddy check down. I need some risk. He don't take risks.
Man, the mighty have fallen.
Here we go. Rams versus Packers.
Rams. That's it. I think Rodgers is out, isn't he? He's got a toe fracture.
No, he's playing.
Oh, he's playing with it. I know Aaron Jones is out. I know Rodgers has a toe fracture. Whatever his name, their tight end just tore his ACL. So I'm going with the Rams. I think Odell Beckham Jr. This is a statement game. You know, if you don't look good in this game, I don't know what to tell you. Because it's not like you're a random wide receiver. Like, you are a generational wide receiver. You need to be able to fit wherever you go. So you have 3 weeks now of Matthew Stafford. Should see a little bit of something.
Aaron Jones is a game time decision. I
like AJ Dillon though. AJ Dillon's pretty good.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the Packers. Here's why I'm gonna go with the Packers. I think what they run offensively, what the Packers do offensively, it kind of hurts what the Rams want to do. Like I said, they want to run the ball, so you can't keep safety too high. And they put their guys at Rams play a lot more zone than they do man.
Right.
And then so they put their guys in the Rams. I mean, one thing about the Packers, they move everybody around. They play all over the field. They play every position. And I think Odell Beckham's gonna be straight, but I don't trust Matthew Stafford.
I like Matt.
Because you're a homer. You're AFC North homer. And don't get me wrong, Matthew Stafford is a Texas boy. You know, as sure as a lot of quarterbacks in the league.
I was about to say, you want to talk about me being a homer with him? Like, come on, coach.
What? I know he's from Texas.
Yeah,
I know.
Gotta rock with him.
Matter of fact, he slaughtered our high school team in the state championship game. Hey man, Matthew Stafford is the real deal. I like a boy. Let me see, who is this? What did he say? He's going with the Packers as well. Of course, Nate, dog. You know how? Hey, that's the way. Look, Nate's a believer. I'm not sold on the Rams. Like I said,
no, I think that defense has been taking a big step back in recent games. Like, I understand Matt hasn't been great, but you let the 49ers have 30 plus points on you. Like, we need to relax with that. We need to figure this out because, again, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, and Jalen Ramsey, Leonard Floyd, the list goes on. You got to be a lot better than this. You can be a lot better.
But those are names.
That's what I'm saying.
Only thing that really
names. You need to start performing like those names.
But the only one that really put fear in my heart is that boy Aaron Donald.
Jalen don't scare you?
Nah.
Jalen's an island.
He's not on the island. That's the point. They don't run man like that. They mix it up and run some man, but they
the Packers specifically.
They just drop it up in the zone. Even against the Packers, the only one is Aaron Donald. But you have to realize, like I said about the Packers. And I give credit to the OC and the head coach, not the DC. Nate just said something. I'm gonna post in a minute. The most important thing about it is they don't run a lot of vertical stuff. Right. They run slants, drags, and screens. And they say, hey, we're gonna wait to see if you're gonna bring a safety down. Like Nate said, I like Matt, but the defense has to step back in the future. Yeah. I totally agree. I think but you got to also look at it. The defense didn't really step back. I think it's more Matt than the defense because you can't give up pick sixes and everything.
I think the defense is on the field a lot more, and I think that's what you're starting to see.
Yeah.
When they're on the field more, they're not as good as you think. Now, when they just have that small sample size of, just being on the field probably 20-something minutes a game, that's perfectly fine. But they're on the field 40 minutes, 35 minutes of the game. You're starting to see a different Rams defense.
Yeah, because you don't have depth. That's the one knock. When you got these superstars, you play Madden, you don't have depth. But I'm gonna ride with these Packers because from the looks of things, I like how I'm looking. Ain't nothing but up for me. And nothing but up for me.
Keep rocking with me, bro. Keep
Huh?
rocking with me, bro. Just watch.
Hey, because you on your back. Look.
Hey, just know, bro. Cam Newton, Zach Wilson, and Matthew Stafford are gonna change my life today, one way or another. They're gonna
Vikings, 49ers. Who you got? Because you talking nonsense.
The Vikings, 49ers.
Yep.
I'm gonna give it to the Vikings. I think they've been having a little bit of momentum lately. Beating Green Bay in Green Bay, that was huge for them. I love Justin Jefferson. Cook is healthy, relatively, and Adam Thielen. Now your only question is Zimmer and Kirk Cousins. But I think you can get it done. And also free Trey Lance. Just let that kid fucking play already.
Why?
I just want to see him play.
He did play.
Barely.
He played one game.
Oh.
He got one game. He played.
I just want to see what he is. I don't want to go into year 2 not knowing. I want to know.
It's not that you're not knowing. I mean, you take here's a perfect example. You take Alex Smith when he was with the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes didn't play not a snap.
He played one game.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
I'm telling you right now, he played a game.
Oh, okay. Even if you won't play one game, he played one game.
Right. And
they said, hey, he's the starter. He's good. You look, he's no different. No, he's no different. You got to realize, man, he has an offensive coordinator. And one thing about it, he has an offensive coordinator that will make an offense that fits around what he can and can't do.
Right.
I really believe that. So I think
you want to see him.
Yeah, because you be on that hype, man. You be on that train. You already ready to make him a star already.
Oh, I ain't rocking with Trey like that, but
you ready to make him a star.
I ain't rocking with Trey like that, but I just want to see it.
Here we go. Browns versus Ravens.
I mean, I think Lamar's back, so I'll take Ravens, but yeah, Ravens by a mile if Lamar is back. I know he was out. He was out last week. I think he had like a stomach bug or something, but
not that you don't believe in the Browns defense, that pass rush and boom, 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 boom.
Nah, they're still dogs, but I don't think they can catch up to Lamar.
Well, you already know who I'm taking. Lamar Jackson. Right. I never was told.
Why you on my grill about it?
Cause I was just messing with you. I was never.
Coach, you'll be like, Mike, I don't know why you're taking Green Bay. You'll go on a 5-minute tangent about why I am taking Green Bay, and then you'll go, and with that being said, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. And I'll be like, what the fuck? Like,
what? Well, that's because you know why? Because you be all over the place. You be over, like you say one thing, oh, this, that, and then you be like, no, I'm gonna take them. Like you contradict yourself. So I'm just trying to make sure why.
Because I'm trying to win, bro. I'm gambling right now. I'm trying to win. I can't say the same picks as you.
Okay, well, you should have known I'm not picking the Browns because I don't trust the Browns.
Man, don't make me pick Baker right now, bro.
Hey, you can pick him if you want to. We'll be different. I know for a fact we'll be different on this pick. Hey, Seattle Seahawks versus the Washington.
Man, that one's tough. I'm gonna say Seattle, for the simple reason that I just don't know. This defense hasn't looked great from Washington, even when Chase Young was there. And I feel like as teams continue to prepare for that, that he's not going to be a part of this defense. He tore his ACL. I definitely do think we're going to start to see that. And I think Russell Wilson, a couple of weeks being back now, you still have Lockett, you still have DK, you still have, Pete Carroll's kind of around. But, so I definitely would say I'm going to give Russ the upper hand, but it's not by a large margin.
I'm going to go Washington football team.
You like Taylor? Taylor.
Nope, I like the football team versus the Seattle Seahawks.
You like T. Killer. You like Taylor Heineke. That's my boy.
Hey, well, hey, you should have picked your boy because you showed right. Right now, I'm not riding with Russ. I don't trust Russ. Russ has been holding the ball. And one of the biggest reasons is their receiver core is, I think Seattle receiver core is an average receiver core. That they got the names.
Yeah, they got the name. They got the home brands, but it's just.
I think Lockett, like I said, Lockett's good. He gives you some on special teams. DK Metcalf, he's a more of a vertical threat. He can't really run anything else other than that. But like I said, I don't trust Seattle. I don't trust the offense. I don't trust the defense. Like my man Nate says, he's like, hey, watch it only because I can't stand Seattle. Hey, however you feel. So I'm gonna ride. I'm riding. I'm gonna ride with Washington because hey, and besides the point, I'm up, so I don't have anything to worry about if I lose. Yeah. Thursday night game. Here we go. Dallas versus Saints.
Dallas.
Of course, I'm going with Dallas.
Trevor Siemian, get out of here.
One thing I will say about the Saints, they are very, very secretive and quiet about their players getting hurt because they don't say anything. They just say, "Oh, he's out," and then, "Oh, Ingram, he's out too." And then it's like, okay, like
right. It's like, no, something's wrong here.
I think everybody's coming back. CD Lamb will be back. I think Cooper, of course, will be back because he already hit his 2 weeks since he didn't get the shot.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he'll be back. Because then it'd be 2 weeks.
I wasn't sure. I thought it just happened.
Nah, it happened because he didn't play last 2 games.
Okay.
So he didn't play that Sunday.
He's not back.
So he didn't play that Sunday, and then he didn't turn around and play the Thursday.
Okay.
So he'll be back. And like I said, I got the Cowboys winning this game, and then they had that little gauntlet where it's gonna be pretty tight, but they'll win 10 games. I think all they need is 10 games to get in. My boy Nate, like you said, hey, Dallas will put 40 on him, and he's not a Cowboys fan. Of course, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I don't think with my heart, I think with my head. So therefore, I think the Cowboys are gonna win, and then everybody's gonna be back to how about them Cowboys. Freddie's gonna be quiet on the chat, and so that's why I go with it. Well, that's it, fellas. TDC, we done.
Yes, sir.
Week in the books.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, I'm gonna be watching these games and everything else. So, Mike, any last words?
Man, Coach, I ain't gonna be able to watch a single game today, bro. I ain't gonna be watching a single game, and I'm really upset about it. So you enjoy that for me. I gotta take my girl to a play. I never been to a play before, so I don't even know how to dress. So I gotta go get ready for that. It's kind of weird, but
what kind of play?
It's a Nutcracker. I ain't never seen it, but she likes that shit, so it is what it is. But I'll be on my phone. I got my earbud in. I'm listening to the game.
No, you won't. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't look during the intermission. I'm gonna tell you how to do this. During the intermission, go to the app and look and see. Okay, because you always get an intermission in between. It might be like a 15-20 minute intermission. Right. If it's like the legit plays. Biggest thing, if you don't know what to wear, say you can't go wrong with polos and a khaki or polos and a jean. Something comfortable. Just wear something comfortable but nice, because you're gonna be sitting for I think it's probably 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, it's long as shit.
Oh, yeah, because you get the 15-20 minute intermission in between.
Oh, so wow.
Yeah, you get it. They got to take
like work.
Yeah. So if I was you, I'd do that. Don't have the headphones in because it's your girl. Act to be so excited. Be like, hey, yay.
Oh man, bro.
So I mean, that's the biggest thing. I've done it. I went through it. If you've seen the play, go see the Lion King. Lion King is a good one.
I heard it's good.
Lion King is
I have
good.
No idea what the hell the Nutcracker is.
It's basically it's a soldier that I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to tell you.
It's Christmas.
It is Christmas. It's like a soldier. They cut nutcrackers. You've seen them before, like the little soldier with the black hat with the beard, red and everything. Yeah. And they go he fights against the rat. So like you see, and the girl, it's you like it. Hey, but enjoy it real quick, Nate. Yes, I'm with you. I picked the Dolphins to win also over the Panthers. Actually, I really won't watch too much of the game. I watch highlights because I got to take my daughter back to college. So, matter of fact, after this, we finna get ready to make that journey across that 3-hour drive there and back. So, yeah, so I'm gonna do that. But other than that, man, hey, enjoy your weekend, and hey, see you Sunday.